shakes free, gets two!
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
What a move! Oh, did he explode and it goes!
Shake and bake move. Oh, he puts it in. Superb move from Jamal Crawford.
Matt Weiner, Isiah Thomas, Steve Smith back with you. Our annual Fan Night tournament has returned. This season, the competition is best go-to move. Here's the bracket. We're going to start with a play-in game, the best NBA crossover. We have 4 contestants. You tweet your vote. I have 2 thoughts here right away. First of all, there's no way Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should not win this competition, right? With the most indefensible move in the history of basketball, the skyhook. That's my opinion.
That just ain't fair. He should be like exempt.
But he may not win because it's a vote. Yes. My second thought is, Isiah, you work here. Why are you in the play-in portion of this thing?
You know what? I don't understand. I don't understand how any of these guys on this board are in the play-in, because these are some of the best moves in the history of the game that people are still trying to replicate and duplicate and still can't do.
Well,
I mean, when you
those are the hashtags.
So when you talk about crossover, Tim Hardaway and I, being from Chicago, see, we had a 2-piece. We had the between the legs, then the crossover. If you get it, you got the between the legs, and I knew it was over when Tim Hardaway started killing me with my move. That's when I had to crossover. And then Allen Iverson, being a former football player, he had the amp Lee hesitation, stutter step in his crossover. Behind the back, cross you over. And not only was his crossover good, but it was as a cultural icon who changed the game culturally, he would change it with his crossover and then the legendary step over.
Why do we have to do that to Ty Lue every time?
But I think the most original, creative crossover that I've seen is Jamal Crawford, behind the back, because
what is that? That's a jump.
It's a jump behind the back crossover that really nobody has ever done, nobody has ever replicated, and mine was just, what can I say? Damn. I mean, I was giving it all to you. I had the crossover, I had the between the legs, I had the behind the back. Even Barkley was mad. And
why you do Doc like this?
Because, he was...
Doc from Chicago.
I know that, and he knew he was, I've been doing this to Doc since we was in high school. You see, he just backed up and said, all right, I ain't going to reach, But the dribble moves and the crossover moves, those are the most fun part. To me, that's one of the funnest parts of the game, because you was talking about Jamal Crawford when he came in, and Jamal Crawford said he's got 10, 12 moves that he really hasn't exposed yet.
That's unbelievable. What's he waiting on?
Well, you're waiting for the guy to make a mistake.
Yes.
And, when you ask Jamal, well, which move do you know you're going to do? Most of the time when you're handling the basketball, you waiting for that defender. You reading that defender. And whenever he jumps left, you go right. When he jumps right, you go left. And a lot of times they go for your first move. So very rarely do you get to go to your second move. So
Isaiah, let me ask you about your crossover. Let's the camera aim. So I'm checking you, right? Yeah, don't put my button on me.
I had to take my...
Yeah, me too. So I'm guarding you, and you want to set me up for your crossover.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to square up with your shoulders, right? And I'm keeping the ball, in between my shoulders. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the between the legs. I'm going to
give me leaning?
Piece. Yeah, because if you lean that way, now I'm coming back with it. And when I come back with it, I come back with it up under my knees so I can take off. And if you get back, right, then I hit you with the 3, right? And that's the behind my back. So everything lays over is 1, 2, 3. And you all in the same spot. It's just 1, 2, 3. And that's the Chicago 3-piece, 1-piece, 2-piece. Allen Iverson had, again, he had the football amp lead where he would hesitate and he put it out here, and then he stutter step on it, and he holding it, and then when you go for it, then he coming back with it, and he,
That didn't seem legal the way you did it.
Well, they changed the rules after he did it a couple of years. They was like, okay, he can't do it, because he would come down, and then he come back with it.
Tim seems so aggressive.
Yeah, Tim would come down and he would just give you that hard, ooh, bam, and he's up with it, right? So it's like, boom, boom, and he's shot. And if you didn't go for the, he was gone, right? So that's the 1-2 in Chicago. And Jamal, I mean, like
that's
I said,
so different, ain't it?
It's the originality, the creativity, it's the art, it's the imagination that Jamal Crawford just put it. Because all that stuff we doing in front of you, he doing it behind. So you can't see the basketball.
Almost seems like a different category.
Yeah, so he's like dancing with it back here,
Yeah.
and you can't see it in its full speed, so you don't know where the ball is at, and he's like, I got you.
Well, let me ask you this, Zeke. As a defender, you know what the guy's trying to do to you if he has a crossover. He's trying to get you to shift your weight so he can go the opposite direction and blow by you. How do you know, or what's the difference between the guy who fools you and the guy who doesn't? As a defender.
As a defender, it's like trying to tackle Barry Sanders. you know? And I don't know how many people saw Barry Sanders.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
but it's like, you know, you just waiting for that guy to make a mistake. And that's all you're doing. That's all you're reading. And as a defender, you know this guy's got like 3 or 4 moves. And you don't want to get embarrassed. So a lot of times you just back up.
Let me ask you this, Isiah. You know, a lot of times when I played, when you turn around, did you like the guy that was here or you like the guy that was almost kind of backpedaling?
I want that guy to give me space.
Okay.
You know,
why? Because I thought for sure you were probably like, because of your quickness, he tried to beat you there and he had to stop.
No, because I wanted to play with it. Chuck Daly used to always get mad at me. He used to say, you just want to play with the basketball because, you know, you want to beat a guy and then bring him back and say, try it again. Come on.
Right.
You know, but the guy that gets up on you, right, you just have to beat him.
Right.
You know, you don't really get a chance to play with him. But, you know, you want to have some fun out on the court. So when the guys are giving you space, you know, on defense, you were taught you got to take up the space. Take up the space.
Right.
The more space you can get, the more you can play with it. But if I'm up on you like this, all right, you can't play with it.
But I saw Doc Rivers. I'd have been Doc Rivers. Hey.
Yeah, you backed up.
I'm giving him a little space.
But Ricky Sobers, my first game in Chicago, Ricky Sobers, an old school player, wore number 14, right? I came down, I did my stuff in Chicago. He said, don't be doing that to me. I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for not really lobbying for votes there.
No.
That was big of you.
Everybody got great moves. Everybody got great moves.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Good luck.